So, Ken, we've been doing this show for many weeks now.
Brother,
And
I would even say for a few months.
now you're right. We've been doing it for a few months. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say months. And we really haven't really gotten into 90s music yet. We say we're going to review anything from the 90s and before, but we've kind of laid off the 90s, man.
True, it's almost as though we've been indulging ourselves.
The 70s, the 80s, like most of our singles.
Our childhood.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. But part of our teenage years were in the
Yeah.
90s.
Oh, yeah, that was the sweet spot.
And the song we're going to talk about today was released in 1990, and that's Toni, Toni, Toni.
Yes.
Feels good. Okay.
3T, baby.
3T. And this song, when I heard it back when we were in high school, I appreciated the video.
Of course.
Okay. I appreciated the song, but I don't know if I fully embraced the song because look, I'm listening to oldies and I'm listening to heavy metal and a little bit of punk. That was my music world.
Yeah, feel you.
Okay. The only reason you and I are talking because we both had that Living Color
Yeah,
cassette.
we crossed streams early on. Yep.
But if you would have said, "Hey, I'm listening to Toni, Toni, Toni," I'd been like, "Oh, figures," and I would
Yeah.
just kept walking. But
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, no, and you're right. So, like the video they had before this song, it was like based off some old spiritual Wade in the Water. But anyway, Sinbad was in the video.
Okay, I
And it was
love
a good
Sinbad.
song. Yeah, and it was a great song. He's a great comedian, so it worked well. And so when this came, it was like, okay, the door cracked. Now they're kicking it open.
But whatever that Sinbad song was, you don't even remember the name, do you?
No,
See, I don't even remember seeing a video with Sinbad in it.
see, and crazy, and also, so back then, MTV. Yeah, I think maybe MTV Raps had just come about, but yeah, black artists and MTV still weren't like a norm.
A dominant force.
Yeah,
Right. No,
so.
you had your breakouts.
Yeah, those few, yeah.
Right.
Which you could name on less than a handful of fingers.
But there was this wave where R&B was dominating the charts. Less
Yeah.
rock songs, less, I don't want to say white pop artists, but just like pure pop driven songs. There
Yeah.
had to be an element of hip hop or rap or even R&B in that song for the artist to hit the charts.
Yeah.
And that's what I find interesting about Toni, Toni, Toni is because they came along with this wave of music called New Jack Swing. Okay, I'm not talking about the movie New Jack City.
Which, I mean, since you mentioned it, but yeah, because you're right.
Just
Because,
had to clarify.
yeah, it's not the movie, though Teddy Riley, who did and orchestrate or was in charge of the soundtrack for the movie, he is the driving force behind the New Jack Swing.
Right. And let's talk about the New Jack Swing style because really it's R&B and it's that 80s cocaine, right? Because you're getting all those synthesized effects
The studio works, yes.
in the
all
studio.
That, yeah.
But you're also taking a lot of samples, okay, for music the way that rap and hip hop were sampling.
Yeah.
But you're also trying to create this air of authenticity, maybe like some of those 70s soul artists had as well. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to be able to sing. It's not all studio tricks. You're going to be able to perform on stage.
And you have to have some instruments to the, yeah. So
Right.
it was the perfect amalgamation.
of that for that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And which explains why, even mentioned in the previous video, and listen to Tony, the previous albums, and this one, kicking the door in, why it worked, because that mixture of those elements of New Jack Swing, that's what was needed
Right.
to kick in that door for radio and airplay and chart movement.
No, you're absolutely right. And speaking of the charts, this is a top 10 hit, number 9 on the Billboard chart, number 1 on the R&B chart. Okay, so a huge hit. It was off their album The Revival, which went platinum. And man, when I remember hearing this song, I was at a friend's house. And man, I'm really bad with names, and I can't even remember the name of the dude. Man, I hung out with this dude for like 6 months. He was like my black friend in high school. You know what I mean? Before I met you, Ken. But no, seriously, I was at his house. I just remember being transfixed to the video and just feeling like this song was so catchy. But man, I'm listening to heavy metal. I'm listening to, speed metal and punk and all this hard, aggressive music. And I was like, what is that doing to my body? This song, I can't stop listening to this song. Now, what do you remember? Like what vibe? Like, it doesn't have to be the first time you heard it. It's just like that feeling you got when you heard it.
Oh, just like the child says, feels good, man. This is a happy song, especially during that time when we were in high school. You had that aggressiveness, because you had one thing going on, the whole gang thing, but this was, hey, we're not about that. We're here, we're having a good time. We feel good. This is music, this is happy. Everything about it was a great vibe. Even watching the video, not just because of the female dancers, which was nice.
Oh, for sure.
Me being the guitar geek I am, I remember the cat with the hollow body with the shirtless sleeves that he was wearing. Just sleeves and no or whatever concoction, that hollow body. And I remember that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's look at the band members, okay? Now, the official members are Raphael Saadiq, that's lead vocals, but he also played bass, according to the credits on the album. Yep. Dwayne Wiggins, who is the guitarist.
And he's the other one that I know, because I always know the guitars.
And the drummer was Timothy Christian Riley. And that's Toni. Now, I'm like, wait a minute. In the videos, there's always like 15 people on stage.
Like 500 of them. And half of them look related because they all look alike.
They are related. So check this out. I did some digging. There's a documentary on Netflix. It's called Loyalty, No Royalty. Okay? And
just by the sound of that.
It's all the other members of Toni who were frozen out of the contract.
Ooh, yes.
And they were the cousins of members of the Wiggins.
Oh, wow. See, that's pretty amazing.
And Riley's cousin too.
Yeah, because I'm going to just go on a limb, correct me if I'm wrong. Those three cats are family, since, again, 500 in the band. Those three are probably all related.
I don't think Raphael and Dwayne Wiggins are brothers. They're before he changed his name.
Yeah,
he was the Wiggins.
he changed his
right.
name.
But you had Elijah Baker, who was the bass player, Antron Ice Cream Hell. In fact, like when he was on Arsenio Hall, they asked him his name. He's like, Ice Cream, like that. And then you had the other keyboard player, Carl Rev Wheeler. So all of them were part of the group. They formed the group. They're in the videos. Right?
Yeah.
They're on stage performing. They're being introduced on national TV, but they're not collecting any money.
Yo, man, if I had a nickel, because again, in my past life, this life, I'm a musician, and if I had a nickel for every cat I knew who had a story about getting the big time and getting cheated out.
Okay, but hold on.
Frozen out
I'm uninterrupting because we've talked about that before. But wait.
Oh, but
they got cheated by their own family.
This is a whole new level, baby. I don't know anybody who done got cheated by their family.
Oh, man. Yeah, it was like the other ones were like, and hey, these are the pretty boys in the band. Someone said, hey, you, and you. I want you, because let's look, man, that drummer is not reinventing the drums.
Yeah. No.
Okay. He's not Bonzo.
He's not Bonzo. Yeah, exactly. He ain't Bonzo.
Right? So, anyway. That's what happened. That's the dynamic of the group. Their cousins, their relatives, are basically backup members when they thought they were all in it together.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? It's crazy. Because back in the day, after this and whatnot, and they broke up, I was like, man, why'd they break up? They had a good thing going. I like 3T.
And by the time 1993 rolled around and they released If I Had No Loot,
yeah, which I remember
there's new members in the band. And they screwed them over too. Hey, but we're not here to discuss their morals or their business ethics.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this. So we talked about the New Jack Swing style.
Yep.
Okay.
Teddy Riley, baby.
And what I did not know till I went to Wikipedia was that they sampled a song called "Think About It" from Lynn Collins. Okay, this song was released in 1972.
Yeah.
Produced and on James Brown's record label.
Ah, nice.
Okay, and you know this song. Everybody knows this song. You just don't know that you know
this song.
Because it is one of the most sampled songs in hip hop.
Which, if it's on James Brown's label, that makes sense because
He's probably the most
He
sampled
is.
artist.
Oh,
Him
yeah.
or Parliament or.
Well, his drummer, the wicked, hear the drummer get wicked.
Yep, we've talked about
Funky
that.
drummer.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so this sample, think about it, was used in Push It by Salt and Pepper, Janet Jackson's All Right, and where it's probably most commonly known, Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock, It Takes Two.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know when you hear that woman singing, It Takes Two to Make Things Go Right?
Yep.
That's the song.
And I've heard, yes,
I didn't know that. I thought that they had some woman singing a hook,
Yeah.
and it was just a sample from an,
Yeah, no, and see, it's crazy you point that out because I knew about Rob Bass, DJ Rock. I knew that.
yeah.
I did not know that 3T also sampled from the same song.
And it's buried in there.
Yeah, which is why I never noticed. Whereas with, It Takes Two, yeah, no. If you've heard Lynn Collins, you've heard. You know what I'm saying? It's blatant. You can tell.
Right. But, and so this song, we talked about the New Jack style, has those keyboard hooks, right?
Yeah.
There's no real guitar, and there's no real guitar licks in this song,
True.
but other Tony songs do have the guitar
Yeah,
licks in
yeah, no, it's there. Yeah, the
Okay.
way it comes across.
And so, this one though, it's about that beat. It's about Raphael singing, right? Just, making those
yeah.
singing come along. It's about the sample.
And it
that
was
feels
everything at that time, like I said, where the song is bouncing, it's light, it's happy, it's fun.
good. It is fun.
And that's how we felt back then when we heard this song. It was funny as I was listening to this song, preparing for this, and just thinking back to remember the bold Afrocentric colors that we wore, the black, red, and green, and maybe
wore 'em.
not you.
I didn't
but-
wear 'em.
No, yeah, definitely not you.
I was wearing like big tennis shoe sneakers with jean jackets
and
and
my high top fade.
Slayer buttons.
Yeah, but I was remember my high top fade and listening to this and dancing around, and I was like, man, I can't move like that no more.
Nope.
I can do it once, and then I'm like, hurt myself.
You got to put on the Bengay.
And not the James
man.
Brown way, hurt myself, but the old man hurt myself.
God. Now the video, man. Now look, we talked about it. We just talked about the bright costumes. There had to be choreographed dancing, but let's be fair, right? Choreographed dancing was around since the Temptations,
Yeah.
the Spinners.
Yeah. And again, like you said, be fair. It's R&B. You're gonna have choreographed dancing because you don't want your friends back home or your family members look at it and it not look coordinated.
That's
have it
right.
busted because they will let you
Oh,
know.
there's some pride there.
Yeah.
And it turns out that the bass player, right,
Yeah.
Elijah, he said in that documentary that he choreographed the dance moves for him. Still not getting paid.
Yeah.
Man, they screwed over their own family member, man.
And I've said it many a time, maybe in private. I don't know if I said it on the show, but since the day Johann Sebastian Bach died, let's say 1650, till now.
Them and Led Zeppelin.
Yep, Beethoven and Led Zeppelin, only two musical artists that did not get screwed over.
It's crazy. But the other thing in the video, and I didn't notice this until I was an old man, is that the women who were standing on stage, I thought they were group members, just doing the baby part, right? No, they were stage security, man, to keep all their fans from attacking them when they jump up on stage. And I never got that concept of the video because I wasn't paying attention to it 30 years ago.
Yeah, no.
And the other thing in the video is that Riley, the drummer,
Yep.
at the beginning of the video, he's sitting down, right?
Yeah.
By the end of the video, he's standing up. It's almost like this song is so fun.
It
Motivates you to get up off your...
He's just standing and in it, which is, and I know a couple of drummers
It's just a little detail.
who play standing up. Not many, just a couple.
The only famous one I know is the one from Stray Cats, because I saw it live.
Yeah.
So, what's the Stray Cats?
I think Lee Rocker's the
Lee Rock.
bassist.
And I thought that was a Slim Jim fan.
Okay, then yes, it is Lee Rocker as the
Okay.
drummer. Because guitarist, that's all I know.
There you
Brian's-
go.
Yeah,
You know the guitarist, you
Of
know the hollow
anyone.
body, you're good. Yeah.
so I'm good.
But either way, the video is what connected me to this song. I just remember it vividly, man. My junior year, right at the
Yeah.
beginning, just sitting there watching that video, man, and thinking, why do I like this song? It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not in my wheelhouse. This isn't
is
what I
true.
listen to.
But again, man, And we've said this many a time. Good music is good music.
No, you're right. And lyrically, when you listen to this song, it's not Chrissy Hine,
Yeah.
but
no.
it's dance music. We still remember it 30 years later.
And it moves you because it's fun. And when in this world, in this life, something that is happy and fun and moves us in a positive way, when is that bad?
That's right. No, you're right. And I have to mention the little rap at the end. Okay.
But because back in the day, so for you kids out there who might be listening.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, which they don't. So this was a thing in the 90s with the New Jack. Instead of your guitar solo thrown
right.
in the song, no, we're going to have someone throw some lines. They're going to rap.
Oh, and they've been doing that for 30 years now, 30 plus years.
Well, this
But-
was 30 plus years
No,
ago.
I'm saying, but ever since,
Yeah.
they've been
Yeah.
doing it. So that's nothing new. But it's
No, but
kind
this
of
is where-
started around
this
this
is where it
time.
started,
That's
though.
right. And the guy who rapped, this guy Mopreem Shakur, that's Tupac's stepbrother.
Yep.
I thought it was his cousin, but whatever, right? So Mercedes the Mellow, all right, that's his stepbrother, okay? And that line, man, I don't care, dude. I've been saying this line for 30 years. Tony has done it again. Like,
Yep.
if someone ever tells me do it again, I just say, Tony has done it again. Like, or someone does something stupid over and over again, I just keep saying it. Like, that line is part of my vernacular, man. Like, I can't get it out.
Which is funny because anyone says
Of
they
my
worked
system.
it out, and I'm like, they worked it out, and they worked it in. That's what so guilty.
And it's not,
yeah.
honestly though, that's the one part of the song that like has stuck with me all these years. It's just that I didn't even know what the song, like I didn't even know the rap until I looked it up on the internet. You know, I just knew that one part. If I get every other lyric wrong in this song, I'm gonna get that one line right because it's ingrained in my system.
So a crazy side note story bringing this back to home.
Before we wrap it up, yeah.
Yeah. So a few years ago, taking guitar lessons because I still do that when I can. And my teacher in the 80s, he played with a guy out of here who had had a record deal and did well. And we were talking, and this was like before we discussed doing this show.
Okay.
And somehow we're in a lesson, and I think I'd mentioned Raphael Sadiq.
Okay.
And he's like, oh, yeah, we signed, one of the first acts we signed to our label was a small label here. Yeah, we gave Toni their first record deal
Oh wow. Okay.
out of San Antonio, Texas.
What? Okay. Do you believe him? Did you do the
No.
research?
I did Nancy Drew it, but he's never lied to me.
I got you.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? He tells me the sky's blue, water's wet, whether I want to hear it or not.
I got you.
Baby's ugly, so
Okay.
like, okay, I believe
Baby's ugly.
it. and also because, like I said, if I had a nickel for every story of musicians I know who've gotten screwed out, now this is a whole new level by your own family.
Well, and actually a version of Toni had been touring,
Yeah,
since this time.
then, yeah,
but Raphael Sadiq, he left to go do solo work.
yep,
And so Dwayne Wiggins, the guitarist, he kind of carried it on with different vocalists, different
Yeah.
background musicians, whatever. So Riley jumped off. He had his new car, so he's good. Anyway, but look, the song. I'm glad we talked about it. I'm glad we kind of got a '90s single on board here.
yeah. It's something that we like, and we
Yeah.
made a difference in our lives. Man.
Granted, it was 1990, right? It was not like we did something from 98, 99. We'll get to it eventually.
Yeah, it ain't going
But-
nowhere.
But anyway, Ken, I really want to emphasize how important songs like this are, where you take a genre like R&B that's already established and then add elements to the new genre, rap, hip hop,
Absolutely.
and then it becomes part of the mainstream.
Yeah, and and we discussed this before the show. It's no surprise that Raphael Sadiq, post Toni, went on. Yeah, I forgot that third T.
You got it.
That he went on to be one of the forefathers of what we have now, which is neo soul.
Okay.
You know, because of the fact, yeah, you're back then, New Jack pulling different elements into what you're doing now. And he's like, hey, if we're going to pull and we're going to reach back, let's reach back to when music was awesome. And if you had ears and could hear, you would say, oh, wow, that's a great song. I don't care what
can
it is
appreciate.
you're into. Yeah.
No, I'm with you. Well, look, everyone out there listening, if you enjoyed today's show, let us know in the comments what you think about Toni, and this song. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you want to hear more, hit subscribe.
And if you saw Toni in concert, hit us up and let us know.
How many band members were on stage?
Yes.
All right, bye-bye.